Hello guys, hello ABAP Academy community. Here is Lazo, the founder of ABAP Academy. And in today's video, I would like to share with you one of the ways of, or one of the things that we do with our coaching students within our coaching programs. And in today's video, I will exactly show you the Job Accelerator coaching program and the specific part of that program, which is called we call it Interview Zone. And basically this is the zone where we kind of mimic the interview round. We ask the prospects the questions, technical questions about whatever topic within ABAP, within SAP, which are relevant for the job positions they are looking for within their area. Okay, so in today's video, I will introduce you Supartinig from France, and she is preparing for the job interview. Basically, she is in a second half of the Job Accelerator coaching program, and from time to time I pick some topic that they are they are not currently working on these topics, so they may be surprising for them. And in such situations, what I'm looking for is that how they can improvise on those job interviews, because many times even people in our coaching programs, they work on the project, so they actually know what they are doing. They all the questions that we are asking, and I was asking in this case, is what they were doing already, but they were doing that few weeks ago. But so not all of the things they remember by heart. Okay, so if they would have more time, they would definitely know more. But what we are doing in those interview rounds is that we also try to push them into not comfortable situations, so they also learn how to improvise. They also learn how to say something that they really don't know or they don't remember now, but they don't want to say something like that on the interview process, that I don't remember. I was doing that like a few weeks ago, so I don't know. Okay, so those are the things that we try to avoid. You will see how we do that in an interview zone, and so you can learn two things from this video. Thing number one, if you are newbie to ABAP, so you will be able to learn how to create database table. This is the question that I was asking Supartinig. And with all the additional questions, so you will also see that her. So you will also see her like on the screen on how she is doing that. So you will be able also to learn that hard skill. This is number one. And the soft skills, you will be able also to learn the soft skills on how it looks like approximately on the interview process. Because I was the part or on the team who was onboarding people to our company before, so I already have skills in this one. So I'm kind of the person who can show you how it may look like on the interview process. Of course, it depends from company to company. It differs from company to company. So in some companies, they have different interview processes and things like that. But in a nutshell, it can look something like this. So you can also learn this one in this video. So welcome once more. If you will have any questions, you are feel free to ask me and reply to this to the comment in this video, or to the email if you are receiving this video via email in ABAP Academy community. And okay, so you can find more information about the coaching program that we do down below, somewhere down below in the video or in the email. Or also, if you will be looking for a SAP system where you can practice everything, then also you will find a link somewhere down below the video or nearby. So I'm looking forward to show you the interview zone with Supartinig, and the way how we coach people to also respond on the questions which they are not really comfortable to answer with. So, and also all the comments that I was providing to Okay, so see you on the other side. Just continue watching this video with the interview zone Supartinig. I would play right now as I am the person who is interviewing you. I am the technical person. I don't know if I have mentioned to you like usually what kind, like what interview stages there are. You probably know because you have probably gone through some interviews.
Okay.
But usually there are three interview rounds. Was I talking about that already or not?
No, not yet.
Okay, so usually there are three. Depends from company to company, depends from country to country. Basically, that this is something that in general we see that it's that is like. Okay, so first
Okay.
interview round is really about just an overview, because company tends to have many people who are who wants to go to get a job, and basically on that interview they are just really making sure that you are the guy who understands the topic, that he's not like total newbie knowing nothing about this. So usually in the first round there is no technical person. Usually there is a HR person who has some kind of script that they are reading through, they are asking questions, and they are kind of waiting for the right answer. So they are kind of, main point, there is no technical person. You just need to answer those questions. If you pass this round, so that they know that you know what we are talking about, then they move you to the second round. What this round is about is that basically on what we are going to talk about right now. Like basically, I'm the technical person. I'm a senior ABAP developer who knows how to all the technical things, and I want you to talk about those things so that I can see if you understand those things deeply. Okay. So this is the real technical round where we are talking about ABAP programming, about, in this case, we will be talking about how to create database table and things like that. And there is also the third round, and I will not talk about this in today's session, but still you need to consider that still we will not be done, even though you will show that you are 100% skilled in what we are going to do right now. But still, you need to consider that there is something more coming, usually. Okay. So right now, what we are doing, what we are going to do, I assume that you passed the first round and we are right now in the second round, okay? So I'm the technical guy. I'm going to ask you a few technical questions while seeing you do the stuff in the system, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so welcome to our interview round. What I would like to see you, if you can show me basically how to create a database table, and I want you to show me how you will create a database table for the restaurant. Let's say, okay. So we have kind of the model or database table which will need to contain 4 fields to keep it simple, because we don't want to spend lots of time. So 4 fields having a name, second would be address, opened at, and closed at. So basically the restaurant, which has the address and the times when it is opening and when is it closing, okay? Okay, so just so please show me how you would be processing. And one thing to consider, you don't need to spend lots of time if you will just show me in the fastest way on how you would create this database table. So something like prototyping.
Okay. So sorry, for field name, open and close. And
I will tell you, like, once we will be creating those fields, I will tell you once more what fields we will be creating. But once more, name of the restaurant, address, opened at, and closed at. Okay. So try to show me and always talk while you are showing to me. Okay.
Okay. So first, we have to go to transaction SE11 ABAP dictionary maintenance.
Okay.
And then you put you fill in the table name, for example, with your initial with Z for customer table. and then table name, for example, restaurant.
Why do you start with ZAS? I will just disrupt you. I will always disrupt you so that I know whether you can understand.
So Z is for the it's required by the subsystem for non sub table or customer table. We have to use Z, either Z or Y, and AS is initial of the developer, initial name of the developer.
Okay, do you need to use that AS, or like wouldn't it work without AS?
Yes, it will work without ES as well. Without ES.
Yeah, so why do you use it? Why is it?
This is just for me to identify easily that this table is created by me, for example, as a developer. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And okay, after that we press the create button. Here we need to fill in the description of the table, for example, table restaurant. And then we have to choose the delivery class. This is delivery class is how we are going to deliver the table in the future to customer. During implementation or during copying from one environment to another environment, which is most of the time because we are in application table or transaction data, we choose application table. Okay. The data browser, yeah, this is whether we are allow the customer to maintain the table or not. So,
what do you use? Like which of the options?
I think we have to allow, but also with restriction. Mostly we use this one. Yeah, because yeah, we allow them to create some changes, but we have to make some restriction as well to the customer.
Okay, so maybe so basically, just to give you an overview, like what we usually do in our company whenever we are creating a database table for prototyping or for anything, what we do, if you just click on that arrow to list all the options. So what we do, we display maintenance. We use display maintenance allowed whenever we do the prototyping. Whenever we do, we want to change the fields or data within content within database table. We use the display maintenance allowed.
For prototyping, we use allow.
Yeah. The option with restrictions we use by default. Okay, so we always want to see the data within the database table. And we don't want let anybody to change the data within the database table. So okay, so you just leave the display maintenance with the restriction as you want it, and okay, you can move forward. Thank you.
Okay, and then after that we create the fields. We create the field that we need, and the first field is always mandate. It's a default by it's an obligation by the system itself, and it is as a key.
Okay, so question. Okay, let's finish this one, and I will ask you a question. I'm sorry.
Okay, and I think we just fill in all the field name first, for example, name, and then address.
Address, yeah. Opened at and closed at.
Yeah. Open at. Yep. And after that, we create the data element for the field. for month, that it is already, I think. Just a minute.
Yeah, it's mandant as well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, question. Do you need to, each and every time, do you need to click on the search help to find a field or to find a data element, or you can just type it?
Yeah, I think for the data element that we already know, we don't need to search it. You just type it in here.
Okay, great, great.
Yeah. But
Okay,
for
so if I can disturb you right now, I'm sorry. You have mentioned that we always need to put as a first field mandant, right?
yes,
Is it really like that, or we can also or maybe we don't need to use mandant as a first field? Is it like, the question is it really mandatory to have that field there?
yeah, it's we should always use this mandat.
Okay,
It's
maybe if you can
obligated.
explain why.
Because this is the environment that we are using, I think.
Yeah.
The mandat.
Okay, and do you know what does it mean, that mandant or the client?
Yeah, the client mean the environment. For example, it is a testing environment or development environment.
Yeah, basically yes. Yeah. So just to maybe add more to that, so each and every client, like within the SAP system, there are several clients. Some clients can be specified or specifically for development. Some clients can be like for the let's say for the production. Yeah, some for testing. Like it can be also this way. It can be a separate system. Depends on the infrastructure of the company. But some client can be, let's say, kind of the computer, which is let's say for administrators only, where there is client for the administration of the whole SAP system and things like that. So basically, yeah, this is kind of the client concept. And basically, what it really means, it's kind of not true what you have mentioned, that there always needs to be mandant in each and every database table. What it does, if there is a mandant, it means that this database table will be client dependent. So the content which is stored under this client, let's say in this development client, will not be displayed on the client for the testing, let's say, okay? Because this is the primary key for this database table. If we would not have that mandant field in this database table, it means that the data within this database table would be displayed like for all the clients. Okay, so no matter like if you would be logged into the client for developers, you will be able to see those data also, let's say with in a testing client.
Okay, yeah. And maybe. Sorry, it's slow. And then after that, we have to.
Can you put it to the full screen, please?
Yes. After that, we make because this name and other fields are new fields, so we have to define the data element.
Okay, so again, question. When you are doing the prototyping, let's say that you want to create a database table as quick as possible, is it really needed to create a data element each and every time? Or
No.
Is it going to speed up your progress if you will be creating those data elements?
No.
So maybe is there any way on how to, if you would be creating database table as quick as possible so that you can maybe do the proof of concept?
Okay.
Okay.
Or then maybe we use just this predefined. For example, this is
Great.
char. Yeah.
Thank you.
And then for name, let's say 30. No decimal. And for address, let's say also char. Let's say 50. And close time is, I think it's times, because it is times in the time format, and this one the same. And then after that, we have to create the key.
Yeah,
Well,
we didn't finish the times for closed at.
Yeah, and we have to define what is the primary key of the table. For example, this one, yeah, I think we have to insert one more line to make, for example, restaurant key, restaurant ID. Let's say chart 3. And then we define this as a primary key. And anytime we define primary key, we also have to check box this one.
Okay. What does it mean, this initial?
Initial mean, oh yeah, this is initial that we need to put some value in it. It cannot be empty.
Yeah. Great. Something like not null in different or in other SQL languages. Yeah, great.
Yes. And then after that, if we, that is the sample one. We don't have any foreign key needed for this table, but if we really need, then we have to define what is the foreign key here. But for this table, we don't need foreign key. Okay, actually we need it for the mandate. Sorry, yeah, this one is foreign key. How to?
Do we really need that? Why do you think?
Mandate? No, we don't need it. We don't need for that mandate. But if there is, for example, first time, if there is other foreign key that is that we need, for example, there is a currency here, then we need to define it.
Yeah. Okay. Like definitely, this database definition can grow and grow in several dependencies and things like that. But yeah, if we will keep it simple this way, I think it is fine. So yeah, again, we don't need any foreign keys. So that's great. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. So
how we can proceed right now?
And before we save it, we have to do this technique. Wait 1 minute. We check if everything is okay. Okay. Oh, this is actually wrong. Cancel. First, before we save it, we have to do technical setting. Here we check the package, if which package we are using. But for now, I'm using.
Yeah, so basically we need to save this database table before we do anything else. So yeah.
Yes. Okay.
What does it mean, this TMP, this local object? Why you are doing that?
The package is where we are going to store the database. It's the physical location. Is it correct or not? Okay, and then here data class we have to
just regarding the package. Yeah. So definitely it is the place where you store the object, any object. So each and every object, like database table or program, anything needs to be stored somewhere. Yeah, and for that, SAP has come up with the package concept. In a from historical reasons, this concept has been called like development classes. Right now, it's called packages, like in a modern programming languages. So yeah, so this is kind of the place where we store all the objects, like which comes to the specific project, let's say.
Oh, usually it is divided by project in the company.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
It is defined by the project, and each project has its own package, which is being delivered to the customer.
Okay.
If we are defining the project or we are creating kind of the prototype of the project within the local package or this TMP, temporary package, what it means, it cannot be shipped anywhere. It is not in a deliverable package. It is kind of the local package only.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, and after that we have to define the data class. Data class is, there are many types, and for customer data, we use master data or transparency data. Yeah. Most of the time we are using this.
Yeah. Do we use only, and when do we use another data class types? Like what is it for? Maybe let's say what is the difference between master data transparent tables with the APPL1 transactional data?
Okay. Transaction data, I forgot. This is the data that is
okay. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so just quickly, I will tell you so that you know. The master data is usually for the data which is kind of okay. How to say that? Let's better say as to what is the difference between those two. Like with a transactional data, this is the data which is being inserted often, very often. Okay, so let's say the transaction, like each and every transaction. Let's say the shopping person, which is let's say in a big store and is adding new store items. Like how is this shopping girl called in English?
Supartinig.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, something like that. But you know what I'm talking about. So each and every time new transaction, like when she pips on that item which you are buying in the big store, so this is kind of a new transaction, and this database table is kind of prepared if it is transactional table. If transaction table with transaction data, it is prepared to insert data like really quickly. Like it is prepared for the insertion. And it's more with master data. It is more like data that is being kind of defining the table, like the application itself.
Like customer data, for example, like customer.
Like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So kind of this is the big difference. What I see, it is kind of the easiest for me to explain the difference between those two.
It's that one is like order items that they will use it anytime. Ordered item that people are doing shopping.
Kind of like those transaction data, it is like really for insertion. So it is quick for insertion. Master data is really quick for searching. Okay. So you are like those data is master data is not being changed so frequently. So it is prepared more for the searching.
Yeah. I know master data is like something that we do initially in the company.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. So you are right. APPL0 for this kind of database table is relevant. Okay.
Yep. And then this is the size category. This is to forecast how big the table would have. For example, for this case, we just use the number 0. But it can be, for example, for transaction data that is happening anytime, then we have to choose the bigger one.
Okay, well, like question, if you go back to that search
Yeah.
help,
To search help. This one?
yeah,
Mm.
like just in case that I don't know how many data this database table will have, isn't it safe for me to say, okay, rather use a size category 8, just to be sure, because I don't know, maybe this database table will have 10 records, but maybe it will have let's say 1 million records. Like, isn't it more safe to put a higher number?
No, I think you don't choose the biggest one, because we can extend it. I think we can change it in the future. So better just use some forecasting based on what we think right now, and we can change it in the future.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the answer. And just to correct you, it's not really true. Like, ideally, basically what this number means is that it's kind of our assumption, like how many rows this database table will have, because what we do here by this setting is that we help the database, physically database on a database level, to say how much space this database should allocate for this database table. And what happens if, let's say, we will exceed those 3,100 rows of database table, the database will allocate another space on the database with the very same size category, okay? So another small piece. So basically, at the end, it doesn't mean that we cannot add, or we cannot put to the database table more than 3,000 rows. It's not true. What it means that we help database on how to create those memory spaces, kind of memory.
So it will, even if we choose a small number, and in the future if there is a change, the database will allocate another amount like that.
Yeah. But what we need to be aware of is that whenever, like, let's say that we will use size category 0 for the database table, which will contain, let's say, 100,000 of rows. Okay, so this actually, like, database would need to create a time or not time slot, but a space right here, then here, then here, then here, and like on many places. And in between, there are another database tables. Okay. Okay. So the thing is that we will slow down the reading on this database, because the database will need to go through this memory slot, this, and so basically, if we would know that this database table would have 100,000 of rows, we would create such big space where all the data would be within inside. Okay, so the reading would be much faster. So, and of course,
so it is better to just choose the biggest one to make it.
That's not true as well, because if you would choose, let's say, very big space, and you would use just 1 to 2 rows, you have already allocated such big space on the database level. Okay, so it's kind of something in between. So we want to try to kind of shoot our best. So what we really think that for what we will need this database for, or how many data. So at the end, it doesn't say it will be, you will not be able to use more data, but it's kind of the help for the database itself, so that we can let database know on how do we expect, like how much data do we expect.
Okay. Yep. And okay. Then there is a buffering things. Buffering. Whether we want this table to be in buffering mode or not. So, but if we don't really need, then just choose no buffering not allowed.
Yeah. Okay. Like, yeah, this about buffering. Like, we will not need it for the database table for such small database tables. So definitely, yeah, okay. So, yeah, thank you. We can skip that.
Yep. Okay. Okay, then we can save it. Yep. So now the database is created.
If you
I
don't know,
forgot
just
to be
tell me
honest.
you don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So one good tip. One good
Yes.
tip, like whenever we want to improvise on the interview process, just don't mention anything here that you are not really sure about. Okay, so just don't talk about it. Okay, if you say, okay, it's working, okay, that's fine, we can continue, then there's no problem, like that. So that you just don't even mention. Like once somebody asks you, okay, they will ask you, but just you don't want to talk about things that you are not really sure about right now.
Yeah, indeed.
Just want to show the confidence. It's okay. That's perfect. We can move on. Okay, so just give it a more ease, and don't stop. Like whenever you stop on something because okay, the person can see. Okay, I can be like if I would be person kind of person that would go to one deep when in things that want to kind of see the things that you don't know. Like it would be easy to find it out. Okay, so.
Okay. Yep.
Never use word I forgot, or also don't use word I think, because this also assumes that you really like don't know. You just think and you are just guessing. Okay, basically what for me what it means, if you think, you guess.
Okay.
So you don't know. This is the main point for me. So don't use word I forgot, I think, and don't mention the stuff that you are not sure about. Okay.
Yes.
So far 3 points to remember.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead. Okay, so how would you create a new record or new row in this database table?
Yeah. Why I suddenly forget how to do that?
Wrong. You don't use that
Okay.
word. Okay. So no problem. Okay.
Okay. Sorry. This is really I'm not ready.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so let me think. Okay, so if you would get into such state that you really don't know, so like what I would do if I would get into point. Okay, so I forgot. Okay, so let's say what I would do. So maybe if I don't know this exact way, I would try to come up with another way, like any other way that I know how I make it work. How can I make it work? Because there are many other ways on how you can let's say do the one thing in ABAP. So there is, if you remember just one thing, you can say, okay, let's say we can do it in a program. Let's say, so I would need to create a ABAP program where I would do the insertion of the record or something like that. So at least you say anything, like any other way that you can create a record. And if somebody tells you, okay, but show it to me in here, so like, and still I would not remember, so I could say, okay, there are many ways on how we can do the insertion into SAP database table. Like usually, since I'm ABAP developer, or I was focusing on ABAP development, basically this is the way I use the most, and I can show it to you right now. I would need to think more and explore more, because I'm not used to, like, I don't do that usually, or I don't do it frequently, so I will need to think more about that. But if you want, I can show it to you in a different way, which I use commonly. Okay, so something like that, something in these lines, so that you don't want to show that you don't know or you don't remember, but quickly think about other ways on how I can do that. Or if you don't know about other way, just say something like, I would need to think more because I don't do that usually. Something like in these lines. Okay, it sounds more easy, and it doesn't show or it doesn't sound like you don't know.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Okay. So and I think that this would be a good kind of homework for you to prepare at least kind of 2 to 3 phrases. If you would get a question, I don't know, that would be answered that I don't know, I forgot, or something like that. Just prepare 3 of the answers so that you don't keep repeating yourself, because once you keep repeating each and every time the same thing, that I need to think about it, it's kind of seems that, again, you don't know. But if you have the same answer, you have 3 different kind of variations, suddenly it would feel that, okay, you know what we are talking about in some point, but of course, because usually ABAPers don't create a, let's say, records this way, okay, so, or something like that. So.
Yeah.
Okay, but so we can stop here, I think.
Yeah.
And okay, so we have tried the interview zone, so for the first time. So I think it is good. Those 3 or 4 major things that I have mentioned to you. I think that it can be good improvement for the next time. So whenever I will ask you any other question, and you will start to improvise, because definitely on the interview many times you will need to improvise in some way. Ideally not. Ideally you will know everything, but in a real world there will be some questions, or there will be something that can surprise you, and we want to, even in such state, we want to be still confident. Okay, so
Oh my gosh, I didn't do it for a long time.
at the end, it's not that hard. Like as I mentioned, like you can just, if you remember that, let's say 3 phrases for you on how to explain why you don't know that right now. Like I would bet that you know, because you have done it before, but you just don't remember it right now. Because of course, like
sometimes
what is the point?
First.
Yeah, and of course the stress, some kind of stress point is there, and things like that. So in such situations, this is the, let's say, those 3 answers for the ways on how to say I don't know. Would it make much more appealing as well? So like really detail, like on the interview process, there are details that kind of matter at the end.
Okay, I see.
And this is the very nice and easy thing on how you can also show that you know what you are talking about, you know how to do this thing, but right now you just don't remember, because you don't do that each and every day. Okay.
Yes.
So the task for you: come up with the 3 reasons why you don't know that right now, but you want to show that you know that. Okay, so but otherwise it was great. It was great because you were able to create a database table right on your own, even though you were not prepared at all. So that's great. And those few things, but we will continue and improve on that. So don't worry. If you do the things for the first time, it is always the hardest time. So each and every time it will be easier and easier.
So they will really ask you to do that in the subsystem. Okay.
Some companies, yes.
Okay.
Like okay, so if I tell you from my experiences, okay, so when I was in a process of getting people to the company, what we usually did, we didn't let them to do the coding, because many times we were kind of bringing to the company newbies. So mostly there were students, part-timers, and things like that. So we didn't do that. But when I was working in a big company, it was HP in Slovakia. So part of the interview process was that like we were there like for a few hours. And we got our own place in the company with the access to the SAP system, and they told us to, and specifically that was we needed to code a program that was uploading data from the TXT file. So actually, this is some like GUI upload. We were using GUI upload and things like that, and they wanted us to see whether we really know what we claim them that we know.
Okay. Well, so far, I never done the technical interview until I have to show it on the system. So that would be something new for me to do some exercise.
And I don't say that you will do that. Like, I don't know. This is something that I'm not really sure. But this is kind of the hardest way on how to show that you know what you are talking about. If you will know this one, any other way is much easier. Okay.
Okay.
Because you can just talk. Like, you can talk like, okay, we created a database table within SE11, or basically if you talk about it in your own words, it's much easier than showing on the system as we do it right now. So if you are prepared on this way, again, it will be much easier for you on the real if they will ask you only the questions. For now, it is fine. It is fine that you tried it also this way. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, it's I was already nervous you interview me. Well, yeah, but okay, it's good. It's good to start again. Yeah.
What was stressful? Let's say.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's stressful.
Yeah.
Really.
Or
but some stress can drive you. Well, what my experience in the past, when I have stress in the interview, it gives me some idea as well sometimes, but it can be blocking as well.
Yeah.
Like, my mind work faster when I'm stressed, and then, okay, I know the answer. But sometimes can be blocked as well.
Yeah, and definitely we need to count with this one. That such situation can be stressful, and when you will experience it for a few times, you will get used to that. Like, it's at the end, it is kind of like, and so what? So the worst thing that what can happen is that they will not take me, and that's all. I can go to another company and try it there. But if you will experience that, and let's say also in this interview zone, it can help you to prepare much better, and you will be much more confident if you will get to such situations.
Yes.
So thank you once more, Supartinig, for being brave and sharing this interview zone with whole ABAP Academy community, and being brave because it was like not everything is great, and like being able to share something that is not 100% great, it's not something that people really are comfortable with. But on this in this video, then people are able to learn on how to prepare even themselves for job interviews, maybe some kind of nuances or things that they need to think about. And mainly if they get into some kind of not comfortable situation, maybe stressful situation, and maybe some easy things like creation of database table can be much more tough. Bye-bye and have a nice day. Bye.